lord has it taken me an embarrassingly long amount of time to get my hands on the NERF Zombie Strike Quadrot. Not for any real reason. I was actually really excited for this one because it looks like a pretty sweet little pistol, even though it, I don't think it says any range claims or anything on it, which is always kind of the death knell for the Zombie Strike stuff. It's either really good or really bad, and considering how good the nail biter was, and this kind of came out at the same time, I was kind of holding on hopes that maybe this thing would be good, and I mean, it pretty much should be. I mean, it's a direct prime Night Finder Fire Strike-ish kind of thing with the Crossfire's 4-dart AR thing, which should be good, should hopefully be good. It would be nice if this was also like a shotgun thing, but it could be good. I mean, it's really compact. Like, this thing is a really small blaster, all things considered. Do I have anything around here that I can compare it to? We will compare it to that, the Worker Hurricane. It's a little bit bigger, which is surprising, but still, I mean, for the standard NERF affair, not too bad. And hopefully it's comfortable. Going off what it looks in the box, and this thing has been taunting me seeing its package for like 2 weeks now. It looks sweet. It looks really good. In fact, I'm gonna open it right now because I can't wait any longer. Because honestly, I've already seen Chris Cartaya open one of these things up and make it an absolute monster. It's something like 160 FPS out of 1. And considering it's 4 shots, you know, no mag or anything like that, that's pretty incredible if you ask me. The details on this blaster also look excellent. This thing just deserves to be painted. And of course, the Quadrot motif is only on one side, but I love what they did with like the negative spacing all throughout here. It just looks absolutely amazing. Oh, and it's really comfortable. I mean, it's not the most comfortable thing ever. This doesn't really work that well as a dovetail, and honestly, that's a little fat right there, but that's pretty good. I love the silhouette. The only thing I don't like is the fact these barrels aren't equal. They're at different lengths, which I never understand why they do that, because it's really freaking annoying. And hopefully the darts don't actually stick out of the barrel all that far, because that's another thing that really annoys me when it comes to these blasters. And, oh, hey, they're not that bad. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, so all the barrels are of different lengths, but the darts all line up perfectly. I don't like it when you do that, Hasbro. I don't like it at all. Like this, I know it's supposed to be like a junkyard aesthetic, but come on. It does have a tactical rail up at the top, which is nice if you have any optics or flashlights you want to put on there. And, okay, I said it was kind of comfortable. It's starting, this light here is, it could be a little bit better. I like the diamond plate marking on the trigger too. Bad. I'm gonna test fire it. That is a very satisfying click from the, I'm gonna try that again. Just listen to that. Like, that is a really beefy sounding catch. I may have to open this one up right away. I mean, it is a pistol, it shouldn't be that hard, but that's about what I expected, actually. Yeah. That's not half bad, though. I mean, before I actually look at what the velocities are, this is not a bad little secondary sidearm kind of pistol. I mean, you do get 4 shots with it. It's a Springer, so it's going to work pretty much every single time. And for how compact and squared it is, I can see this actually being really useful. Well, I'm going to have to take it over the Chronograph and see exactly what it's doing on all 4 barrels before I get any farther, but yeah, I think we're going to have to take this apart. All right, keep in mind, this is a smart AR-style blaster, so the shots are most likely going to get weaker the farther down the barrels, but starting with the top barrel, 75, 73, 68, 65. Wow, that's actually, that's a little hot for a NERF blaster. Let's try this again with another fresh 4 shots and see if we get similar performance. 74, 73. Now that one actually kind of hit the rim a little bit, but 64. And that one also hit the chronograph and bounced off. We'll give it another fresh set of darts here just to be completely sure we didn't screw everything up, because I did miss a couple of shots there. It's kind of weird at this angle, but 4 more darts. And make sure those are packed down in there. 74, 73, error, kind of missed the end of the chronograph, and 66. So yeah, looks like you can expect mid-70s from the top barrel, lower 70s from the next barrel down. Barrel after that is high 60s, and the barrel after that is going to be mid to high 60s. Really surprising! This is actually a really good blaster! So far, the Quadrot has been, well, seriously, it's like the best $10 Nerf blaster I've seen in a very long time. For reals, this is everything the Crossfire bow should have been. It looks really good in my opinion. Of course, the aesthetic isn't going to be for everyone, but I love how squared off it is, and I love all this negative space detailing and the fact it's actually symmetrical on both sides for the most part. I'm starting to really like this. I do kind of wish that this kind of thing was gone, and maybe if this was a little bit higher ups, but for a pistol you're probably not going to be using all that often, it's fine. It honestly, it barely even, like, holding it like this, priming it, it's fine. I'm just a little worried if you put higher spring loads what's going to happen, but that, seriously, that catch, like, you can hear that, right? That is surprisingly robust sounding, so we are going to have to take this apart, and that's why I got the screwdriver here. Okay, so you can actually remove that, and honestly, that's a lot better. I mean, I don't like the big, huge gap there, but that is way more comfortable. It's weird how they manage to do that all the time, but I guess if the zombie strike stuff, it's meant to be junkyard stuff. It's not supposed to be comfortable. All right, and we should be in just like that. Wow, they maximized what they were working with when it comes to this blaster. It's not a whole lot of room here for error. Let's see if I can just, yep, pull this entire assembly out. And honestly, it looks very much similar to any kind of fire strike. There's not a whole lot for want there. For some reason, the catch sounds really nice and the trigger pull is really good, but oh, that's amazingly simple and a pretty decent sized plunger tube that's relatively efficient. I mean, there's not a whole lot of room there for dead space or anything like that. Of course, this is going to cause a little bit of dead space, but yeah, I would assume, especially with that pretty dinky spring, just like Chris Cartaya found out, if you just stick a good spring upgrade in there, there's a lot of hope for the Quadrot. So, I may have to do some tinkering and see if I can't mod this thing to be even more powerful, but let's put it back together for right now and come up with a conclusion. Well, golly gee willikers, an inexpensive Nerf blaster that actually performs a little bit hotter than most blasters, and on top of that is, while it's not brand new territory, obviously 4-dart smart AR blasters aren't all that, crazy premium. In fact, if you wanted something in a similar form factor, you could just use the rather elusive 4Victory if you happen to be lucky enough to have one of those. But for a direct style prime here that's going to be insanely upgradable, thankfully we already know of this because of Chris Cartaya's work, but man, the Quadrot is a complete winner. I was kind of excited for this when I first saw it, and now that I have my hands on it, especially that, oh, that is just so nice of a click when it comes to actually this thing catching. I'm blown away. For 10 bucks, which is what this thing cost me, there's no reason not to pick one up, unless you just happen to hate springers, but I think just about everyone, even if it was going to like, oh, stock Nerf only war, I mean, you would feel right at home with something like this, especially since it shoots just a little bit harder, and its fire rate is really nice, and reloading it is an absolute breeze, so it kind of ticks all the boxes for being a rather excellent scavenger pistol. The only real downsides is that it's going to be a little bit more difficult of a mod because of the smart AR system. You could, of course, single it if you wanted to do that, but you can also work with it and try to make it the most reliable smart AR pistol you could possibly have. But that does mean if you just slam stronger springs in here, you're going to get a 2-dart shotgun probably out of this thing, and that's kind of lame. And if you really want to make this thing like a single shot repeating, insanely strong blaster, it's gonna take a lot of work, but I do feel like this completely replaces the Fire Strike. It's a little bit bigger, but not enough to really say, oh, you shouldn't pick one up, because the Quadrot is definitely really good, which is hilarious because this comes right off the heels of like the battle camo Fire Strike, which I believe is like 15 bucks. And yet here we are, more shots. This one is in fact cheaper at $10. So yeah, Quadrot definitely worth picking up, and I have hopefully a mod coming forward in the future because I happen to like it a lot. Although it definitely needs some paint done to really bring out these details for reals. But let me know what you think about the NERF Zombie Strike Quadrot pistol down in the comment section below. I'm really excited to hear your opinions on this one because I happen to think it's pretty friggin' cool. But that's me. Otherwise, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta